You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report, episode number 214.1, the weekend report for Saturday and Sunday, March 22nd and 23rd. Our weekend update from high school, college, and professional sports news in Central Indiana, with a little bit of major national sports news, anything that may be of interest to Central Indiana sports fans.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengels.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you've chosen to listen to the Central Indiana Sports Report. We thank you for spending part of your Monday with us. Today is March 24th, 2025. Like I said, it's a Monday. So it's another day for the Central Indiana Sports Report. I'm your host, Greg Mengel, and I love Central Indiana sports. Coming to you today from headquarters in Jeffersonville, producer Susie is in the control room.
Hey there.
Nice. Coming up, Indiana Wesleyan is in the Final Four. The men's NCAA tournament is into the Sweet 16, and the women's tournament will be Monday. Plus, we have IndyCar, college baseball, softball, swimming, gymnastics, and volleyball results. Whew. And spring sports and high school sports get underway this week. But first, before we get to all of that, I want to remind you, actually, I want to beg you to please go to our YouTube page and subscribe there, even if you're already following us or subscribed or whatever you do at SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple, or Amazon. Please go to our YouTube page and subscribe. We're about to do lots of cool things over there, including some exclusives. Also, earlier Monday, we released our recaps of the semi-states at Newcastle and Michigan City with Kyle Nedenrip of the Indianapolis Star and Grant Schaus of the Action Sports Network. Please go check those out. Indiana Wesleyan's women are back in the NAIA Final Four, just 2 wins away from another national championship. The Wildcats dominated 7th-ranked Freed-Hardman 77-46 on Saturday to advance to Monday's Final Four in Sioux City, Iowa. IWU will face Briar Cliff, Iowa on Monday at approximately 7 for the right to face either Dort, Iowa or Bethel, Tennessee in Tuesday's national championship game. Dort and Bethel tip at 5 on Monday. In Saturday's win, the Wildcats outscored Freed-Hardman 48-21 in the second half. Lily Frazier led Indiana Wesleyan with 22 points, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds. Maddie Lawrence added 21 points. Taylor Folkema had 14 points and led the team with 8 rebounds. Indiana Wesleyan is 32-2 heading into the national semifinal. Purdue is one of the Sweet 16 after winning their first 2 games in the NCAA tournament over the weekend. The Boilermakers ended any thoughts of McNeese being the next Cinderella by dominating the Cowboys 76-62 in Providence. It's Purdue's 3rd appearance in the regional semifinal in the last 5 years, their 8th under Matt Painter, and their 15th in program history. Purdue junior Trey Kaufman-Renn said it's a nice accomplishment returning into the Sweet 16 after graduating 2-time National Player of the Year Zach Edey in the offseason.
Yeah, well, I'm very proud. I'm proud that obviously the older guys get to experience this without, like you said, one of the best basketball players in college basketball history. And so I know that they had something to prove. But also the new guys that we have on our team that are getting, whether it be the people that are coming in and their roles, but also the older guys that are getting more of an opportunity now. So I'm just proud of our team. I thought we played really well these last 2 games. We executed well and we stuck to our game plan. And then we out rebounded both teams. So we do that. It's a winning game plan. Thanks, Trey.
After playing the early games both rounds in Providence, Purdue will face top seed Houston in the final game of the regional semifinals at Lucas Oil Stadium. The other 2 teams in the regional, Kentucky and Tennessee, will play at 7:30 Friday. Also Friday, it's Mississippi against Michigan State and Auburn, Michigan in the South in Atlanta. Of course, the tournament resumes Thursday in the Sweet 16 in the East and West. It tips at 7 with Alabama BYU in the East followed by top seed Duke and Arizona. On TBS in the West, it will be Florida, Maryland at 7:39, followed by Texas Tech and Arkansas.
Where are the Cinderellas?
Where are they indeed? Notre Dame is the only Indiana team left in the women's NCAA tournament. The Irish blew through the first two rounds in South Bend, beating Stephen F. Austin 106-54 and Michigan 76-55. The Irish will play TCU in the regional semifinal in Birmingham Saturday. The time is to be determined. Ball State lost to Mississippi 83-65 in Friday's opener. Ole Miss then beat host Baylor for a spot in the Sweet 16 against top seed UCLA. IU won its first round game fairly easily, beating Utah 76-68, and put up a good fight against top seed South Carolina before bowing out 64-53. As of Monday at 1, Notre Dame, TCU, Tennessee, UCLA, Ole Miss, Kansas State, South Carolina, and Duke have tickets to the Sweet 16. Two-time reigning national champion Alex Palou tracked down Pato O'Ward in the final lap Sunday at the Thermal Club in California. It's his second win to open the season, and he now leads O'Ward by 35 points in the standings. O'Ward's teammate Christian Lundgaard was third, Colton Herta was fourth, and Felix Rosenqvist fifth. O'Ward led 59 of the race's 65 laps, but it was Palou the story once again.
Thank you all the fans, and I heard that there was some issues with the broadcast, so sorry to all the fans, and thank you for sticking with us. But what an amazing weekend. Honestly, we had a really fast car since practice. Thank you, boss. And they executed very well. Everybody at Chip Ganassi Racing, the tank car executed perfectly. We knew it was aggressive to start with the used reds, and we knew that we were looking towards the end of the race with that tank car. And yeah, we did it. So back-to-back wins feels awesome.
Earlier Monday, we released Dave Chanley's reaction to Sunday's race, the venue at Thermal, the telecast, and much more. That's episode number 214.3. Please go find that one if you're interested. The Pacers won their fourth straight game Saturday, beating the Nets 108-103 at the Fieldhouse. The Pacers held a 90-70 lead after three quarters before Brooklyn cut the deficit to a single point with 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. However, the Pacers responded with a 12-4 run that put the game away. Tyrese Halliburton returned to the lineup and finished with 16 points, 12 assists, and 8 rebounds. Pascal Siakam led the Pacers with 26 points, and Miles Turner had 22 points and 8 rebounds. Trendon Watford led the Nets with 26 points. The Pacers are now 41-29, fourth in the East, a game ahead of Milwaukee and 2 ahead of Detroit, and 3 games behind third place New York heading into Monday's home game against 41-31 Minnesota. The Wolves are 10-2 in their last 12 games, including a 132-130 overtime home loss to the Pacers last Monday. In local college baseball, Purdue lost its first series of the season at home against Michigan over the weekend. The Wolverines took game 1 Friday. The Boilermakers improved to 19-3 with a 9-6 win in game 1 of a doubleheader Saturday. And Michigan took the rubber match 12-9. Purdue is now 3-3 in the Big Ten. After taking game 1 Friday at UCLA, 5-1, UCLA won the final 2 games of a series against IU, 7-4 on Saturday and 6-3 on Sunday. Jake Hanley had 5 hits for the Hoosiers on Saturday and Sunday combined. Taylor is 24-5 after splitting a doubleheader with Mount Vernon Nazarene Saturday in Upland. The Trojans lost their first conference game 5-3 in the opener, then rebounded for a 12-2 win in game 2. Taylor trailed 2-1 in the nightcap before scoring 6 runs in the fourth and 5 runs in the sixth. Caleb Colpine had 4 hits, and Sam Glad and Parker Rinke drove in 3 runs apiece in the win for Taylor. The Trojans are now 15-1 in the Crossroads League. Anderson split a pair at Manchester Saturday, winning the opener 9-8 before falling 8-0 in game 2. Zach Stosky had 3 hits and drove in 4 runs in the win for the 11-7 Ravens. IU Kokomo swept West Virginia Tech at home over the weekend. The Cougars won game 1 Friday 11-0, then won both ends of a doubleheader 4-3 and 11-2 Saturday in Kokomo. They won game 1 on a walk-off balk. Casey Ross went 5 for 7, had a double, scored 3 times, and had a sacrifice fly on the day. The Cougars are now 7-19 overall and 4-7 in the River States Conference. And Ball State was swept by Xavier over the weekend in Cincinnati. After a 6-5 loss Friday, the Musketeers took to Saturday 9-2 and 7-1. The Cardinals are now 16-9. And in local college softball, IU is 22-8 after taking both ends of a doubleheader from Penn State Saturday in Bloomington. The Hoosiers won 7-5 in the opener and 17-4 in 5 innings in the nightcap, a night after a heartbreaking 14-13 loss in the series opener. Brianna Copeland earned the win in Game 2, and on offense scored 3 times in Game 1 and drove in 3 runs in Game 2. What a day for IU's star senior. Ball State took the rubber match against Toledo, beating the Rockets 9-8 Saturday. The Cardinals jumped out to a 9-0 lead before Toledo scored 4 times in the 5th and 4 in the 7th. Ball State had 7 extra base hits in the win, including a double and home run from sophomore third baseman Mandy Louth. She drove in 3 runs. Purdue went 1-1 against Maryland over the weekend, taking an 8-1 loss on Saturday before winning 2-0 Sunday behind Julia Gossett's 7-hit shutout performance in Oklahoma City. Jordan Ramos hit a 2-run home run in the second for the game's only scoring. Anderson went 0-4 over the weekend, dropping double headers to Calvin 9-0 and 6-4, and Adrian 17-6 and 11-3 in Anderson. The Ravens are now 3-7. Virginia's women's swim team won their 5th consecutive NCAA championship on Sunday in Federal Way, Washington. Stanford was 2nd, Texas 3rd, and Indiana finished 4th. Purdue was 18th. IU senior Skylar Liu is the platform diving national champion. She was also 3rd in the 3-meter diving competition. Purdue junior Darren Wright was 4th on the platform and 8th on the 3-meter diving. Indiana senior Anna Poplawski was runner-up to Michigan's Stephanie Balducini in the 200 free and was 3rd in the 500 free. Senior Ching Gan was also 7th for the Hoosiers in the 500 free, and later finished runner-up to Stanford's Aurora Roguehair in the mile swim. Also for IU, sophomore Miranda Grana was 4th in the 100 butterfly, 6th in the 100 backstroke, 9th in the 200 backstroke, and she anchored the Hoosiers' 6th place finish in the 400 medley relay and was a member of the 400 freestyle relay team along with Poplawski. Senior Brianna Crawford was 5th in the 200 breaststroke. Ball State finished 5th in this weekend's women's gymnastics MAC championships at Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Central Michigan held off Eastern Michigan for the program's 19th MAC title. Ball State's Suki Pfister won the vault with a 9.9, and Ashley Szymanski won the uneven bars with a 9.875 for the Cardinals. Hannah Ruthberg finished 7th in the all-around for Ball State. And Ball State's men's volleyball team is 16-8 after a 2-match sweep of Queens in Charlotte. After beating the Royals in 5 sets Thursday, the Cardinals beat them in 4, 22-25, 25-19, 25-18, 25-22 on Saturday. Tinashe Davazakeva, sorry if I mispronounced that, led Ball State with 22 kills. The Cardinals host Quincy Friday and McKendree Saturday at Worthen Arena. And now you know everything we know about Central Indiana sports. Thank you so much for listening. Always appreciate it. If you'd like to see us continue to grow and thrive, please share these episodes with your friends and family. Don't forget that the daily report is 1 o'clock every day. Sometimes we're a little late. Sometimes we're a lot late. But we always do the very best that we can. Right, Susie? Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.